context about what happened earlier in the hearing. No? So as you've seen, there was some delay, no, at the start before we were able to proceed with the presentation of our witness for today, Mr. Wamil. Particularly, we made the request for the stipulation of some documents which will be covered by the testimony, no, of this witness. Well, the purpose of that is to abbreviate the proceedings so that the witness wouldn't have to identify and authenticate each of these documents. So, we tried to do this during the pre-marking conference, no, during the pre-trial, but unfortunately at that time, the defense did not agree to enter into stipulations, no? Even if these documents were actually common exhibits. No? In fact, these were submitted by the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education, no? In connection with the liquidation of their use of the confidential funds. So, but eventually, as we've seen a while ago, they agreed to stipulate on the existence and authenticity of some documents, but not all. So they still did not agree to stipulate on the acknowledgement receipts, no, which they submitted. These are around 840 documents. So our witness will have to identify and authenticate them later. No? And then, so just a brief background. So as you've seen, the witness is from the ICFAO, no, of the Commission on Audit. This is the office of the Commission on Audit, which handles the auditing of confidential and of confidential funds. No? So right now we're just focusing on the liquidation of the OVP's use of confidential funds for the last quarter of 2022. No? So far, that's the extent of the testimony that has been covered. So as you've heard, during the audit, so far, no, based on what the witness stated, no, nasabi na niya mayroong mga important discrepancies or issues which were spotted, no, during the audit. Among them were the fact that this 125 million confidential funds was supposed to be for the last quarter of 2022. So meaning, as they've stated, October, November, and December. But based on the document submitted by the OVP itself, mukhang 11 days lang ito, no, nung remaining month nung December 2022. Nasabi din niya, no, dahil na-point out niya dun sa joint circular, no, which governs the use and liquidation of confidential funds, may specific purposes lang kung para saan ito pwedeng gamitin. No, at nasabi niya, based dun sa submissions nila ng liquidation reports, mukhang hindi siya tugma, no, dun sa mga reports na yon. So, dahil dun sa observations niya, tulad ng sinabi niya, nag-issue sila ng audit observation memorandum, no? At dahil dito, ang Office of the Vice President nag-submit sila ng revised accomplishment report, no? Dahil nga merong discrepancies. At doon tayo tutungo mamaya doon sa testimony niya para sabihin anong naging aksyon na ginawa pa ng COA pagkatapos nito. Maybe you want to give a statement too? Oh.